Okay, we're live. Hey, everybody. Jess here at The Whole Dancer. Thrilled that you are tuning in again. I hope you're having a great weekend, enjoying a little relaxation this Sunday. I'm joined today with my beautiful guest, Jessica Cobb, who is currently dancing with Columbia City Ballet. And she is one of the first dancers who actually went through the Dancer's Best Body program with me. And so she and I were just going to chat about her experience and, you know, positive outcomes from the program and some things maybe that she's still working on, just so that if any of you are thinking about enrolling, maybe her experience will inspire you one way or the other to know if you feel that you're really the right fit. Enrollment is currently going on through Sunday, February 4th. Oh, wow, that's a week ago away. Time flies. So let's dive in. Jessica, tell us a little bit about your current dance experience and how it's going and things you're enjoying and all that good stuff.
So as she said, I'm currently dancing at Columbia City Ballet. I moved to South Carolina in August, and we just wrapped up a Midsummer Night's Dream in Columbia, and we're going to be heading to Kiowa on Tuesday, taking it on tour. So I'm really excited. It was a fun weekend. And I guess I'll tell you a little bit about my background. I grew up in Massachusetts, and my mom owns a studio, and I danced with her until I was about 12. And I went to my first summer program, CPYB. And I fell in love with ballet because I had taken all styles of dance. I loved jazz, I loved tap, hip hop, all that. I went to CPYB for 5 weeks, and I fell in love with ballet, and that was it. And I decided to go to Boston Ballet School, and I danced there until my junior year in high school. And then I was accepted into Pittsburgh Ballet Theater's pre-professional program. I danced in their high school full-time program for a year, spent the following 2 years there in their grad program, and then was accepted into Louisville Ballet's trainee program, spent 2 seasons there, and now I'm here.
Love it. How is touring? Have you toured before with Columbia?
Yes, we did an extensive tour for Nutcracker season. The beginning of our Nutcracker season, we were in Florida, we were in Georgia, we toured a lot in South Carolina, and then our final 2 weekends we spent at the Koger Center, which is our main theater in Columbia. So,
do you like touring? That sounds like fun.
I do. It's different, you know, because most places I've been, we didn't really tour very much, mostly because I was part of the school or second company type situation. So when the company went on tour, we weren't typically involved, but it is a lot of fun, you know, setting up in a new space and new energy. And it's and the, you know, bus rides are long. Florida is definitely a long one.
Getting around there, I imagine, would be long rides. Nice. So tell me about what it was in your journey that brought you to the Dancer's Best Body program.
Well, I was in a position where I was finding dance had always been like just a joyful, happy experience for me. It was something that, you know, I'd wake up in the morning ready to go to the studio, and, you know, at night I was, you know, just happy about my day. I wanted to be in the studio all the time. I wanted to be on the stage all the time. There was nothing else that made me happier. And I kind of got to a place where I dreaded it. I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. You know, I was kind of paralyzed. I was sad. It was a strange place to be for me because I loved ballet. You know, it was everything. And so it was a weird feeling for me to like dread it. And that wasn't normal, you know. So I did a lot of soul searching, and I was kind of like, maybe I'm not doing the right thing, you know. And I came across, I don't know if it was an article, I don't even remember, but I saw The Whole Dancer, and I clicked the link, and I was like, you know, what is this? And I saw the whole the Best Dancer's Best Body program, and I decided to sign up because it, you know, had everything I was kind of looking for. Mindset, you know, kind of taking yourself as a whole to create your dancer's best body. And I was like, you know what? It's going to give me something to focus on, maybe get me out of this funk that I'm in. So I went for it, and it was the best thing I could have done. You know, it was much, much needed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's amazing too when you do kind of almost randomly find something like that in that way, where, you know, you were clearly looking for something and you just kind of stumbled upon it. Which is why one of the things that I always say to people when they're thinking about joining is that you just kind of need to listen to your intuition, which is hard to find sometimes. But, you know, when you are reading about it, if it's something that you feel like, wow, like this could have a huge positive impact on my dancing, then I think it's like, that means it's time to sign up. Awesome. What do you think was what was your experience in the program?
At first it was a little bit scary. Coming to terms with like your feelings, something so simple. The journaling exercises that you had me do, they seemed so like simple in concept. And then when you kind of dive into what you're feeling and kind of just let yourself write, you discover things that you didn't really know you were feeling.
Yeah.
And for me, that was, I think, the biggest part of my, I don't know, like my struggle that I was going through, being able to dive into those feelings that I think I had kind of just been avoiding. Really helpful, because for me, a lot of it was a mindset thing, which then spiraled into a body problem, because when depressed and unhappy, I would find myself coming home. I would have class in the morning, and then I wasn't called to any rehearsals. I had nothing to do, and I would go home at 11:30, and I would find myself just sitting on my couch. There were dishes to be done. I could have gone to the gym. There were so many things I could be doing, and I just couldn't move. I couldn't get myself to do anything. So I think that, you know, being able to sit down and just, you know, be really honest with yourself in a private, you know, stress-free, judgment-free way, really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's huge. And I think you're so right. It's like, you know, obviously on the program page, it details what's included and like journaling worksheets. That doesn't necessarily, I think, sound to most people like it's going to be something groundbreaking for them. But it's amazing what the right questions and prompts can do for how you are feeling about yourself. And like you said, that honesty with yourself about how you're feeling and what could be the positive outcome if you really look at those things and then go down that path where you're saying, okay, so this is how I'm really feeling. How can I take it in a positive direction? So I think that's awesome. What was your biggest positive outcome from the program?
Honestly, that I continued dancing. I was in a place where I seriously was questioning what I was doing with my life. I knew that I loved ballet, but it had been so long since I actually loved ballet and what I was doing, and wasn't scared and didn't feel so judged and looked at like I was the worst thing in the world. I mean, I can't even, I won't go into it too much, but it, you know, I was in a bad situation. And so just the fact that I was even able to pull through and continue dancing was all because of this program. And I mean, maybe it sounds crazy, but I don't know what I would have done if I didn't take the time to do this and talk to you. And it just, I mean, I'm a professional dancer, and, you know, it just, yeah. It kind of, it makes me emotional. You know, it's like something, like you said, you just stumble across it, and it's like, you know,
That makes me so happy.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like,
I'm so happy to hear it. Yeah. Because, you know, for me, when I was dancing, I got to that point, and I think because I didn't see any sort of support for me in that position, and I had gotten to a place where it felt hopeless, and I questioned my abilities or my ability to continue to move in a professional direction. And, you know, I just stopped. And I was much too young, I think, to stop. And so I'm so glad to hear that, like, through your experience, that inspired you to keep going. And, you know, like, you were able to get to that place mentally where you were like, no, I do still love this. It is still what I want to do. And you're dancing professionally, which is amazing.
Yeah. I feel like the program really shows you how much value you have. I think this career path tends to let you believe otherwise. 90% of the time, you know, people are telling you that this is wrong and this isn't good, and well, what do you have to offer? You know, it's more you're trying to like beg your way into, oh, please, I'll do anything, I'll do anything. So you have to say, no, I am worth something. I am here. This is what I have to offer. This is what I can bring to you, you know? And I think that when you have that energy and that positive like aura or vibe around you, you know, it makes people look, and it makes, you know, people pay attention, you know, take note.
Yeah. You're so right. That's so true. I think, like you said, that in dance, we are so conditioned to, you know, feel like we have, especially female dancers, I think, feeling like we have to just like do whatever they want us to do in order to get the job or keep the job or whatever it is. And I love that you said you recognized what you had to offer, and that, because you're so right, when it comes to an auditioning situation, when you know I have these capabilities and these things that make me unique in a good way, you bring a lot more confidence, I think, to auditions, which is huge.
Yeah.
Nice. Who do you think could benefit from the program?
I say everyone, anyone and everyone. I think that no matter what place you're in, you know, when I first found it, I was like, oh, you know, this seems like a good place for people that, you know, have maybe lost their way, or, you know, don't have the best body image, or, you know, have been told that they need to lose weight, or blah, 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 you know. But now sitting on the other side of it, where I'm, you know, in a place where I'm so happy and just, you know, I'm dancing, I'm, you know, I'm getting great feedback, I'm, you know, I'm just in a good place. I still find myself, you know, saying, I want to go back through this, you know, the Dancer's Best Body program, and, you know, just let it take me to the next level. Cause there's so many layers to it that even if you are in a really good place and you're feeling confident, it's a good reminder. It's almost like a meditative process for me to, you know, go through and say, what am I eating? How is this fueling me? You know, sit down and journal, and, you know, just take the time to self-reflect. And I don't know, I think it's important for dancers. I mean, I guess you're getting in your head in the sense that, you know, you're taking the time to evaluate yourself and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. But at the same time, it's letting you get out of your head, and it kind of almost takes the pressure off, because once you are able to get to a place where you're using food to fuel your body, I think that was like the biggest, it seems like such a simple concept, and it like blew my mind. I was like, wow, if I just eat to fuel myself, it like takes the pressure off. You walk in the grocery store, and instead of going, how am I going to lose weight? You can just go, okay, what's gonna give me energy? What's gonna give me strength and power to get me through my day, to, you know, do everything? It's just like, makes it so simple, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's amazing. I love that. And I mean, I agree with you. I think there are those dancers who might discover the program because they're in a place where they are struggling with body image, or someone has said to them, you need to lose weight, or they're getting ready for auditions and they don't think they're in the right place with their bodies or confidence wise. And then there are the people who just are stressed out about food and have been like trying to diet and it's not getting anywhere. So they've found it for that reason. But like you said, I do think the majority of dancers could benefit going through this program, mostly because it is about seeing food as fuel and finding the way that's going to, for your personal situation and your personal body, get you to where you want to be. So I love that you said that. And I think, because I think you're right, it makes sense for a lot of people. And the biggest thing I will tell people when they're asking, like, I don't know if I'm the right fit. And then they will share with me, you know, a lot of their food story and dance history and things like that. And a very big thing that comes with many of them is just all that stress around food. And I do think the program can help to really alleviate that stress, which I think is cool. And then do you think, so I mean, you've had mostly or all, I guess, positive things to say, but do you really feel like, because one question I often will get is like, or something that makes people take pause is definitely price. And I get that because it's an investment. If you've not ever done an online course before, you might be like, I don't even understand like what exactly I'm getting. Right. And like, as much as I'll describe it and be like, yeah, you get video lessons and audio lessons and worksheets and like feedback if you go at the pro level and like one-on-one coaching if you go at the elite level, people still don't fully grasp, I guess, what they're paying for sometimes. Do you feel like the investment was worth it for you?
Absolutely. You spend like, think about the amount of time that you've been in the studio. Your parents have paid for your dance lessons probably since you were 2 or 3, and you're at this point, or you might be a little bit younger finding this program, you know, depending on where you are, but you've invested so much in your training and leotards, tights, point shoes. I mean, there's so much investment, and it's, I mean, for me, when I found it, it was like, I was like on the verge of, you know, being a professional, and it was like, of course it's worth it. You know, it's like just that little bit, if it's going to make or break, you know, like it I don't know, you're just a different person after. And I sometimes like have to like sit down and like, you know, keep my mouth shut a little bit sometimes, because you feel like enlightened and you want to like tell everyone, and not everybody wants to hear it all the time. You know, it's like, I don't know, you just learn so much about yourself. And again, you know, it's so much more than just your body. Yes, it'll change your body, but it's like just your soul and your mind, and there's just so many aspects of it that it's absolutely worth it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I think you're right. It is one of those things where, you know, yes, even the basic level is $197, so it's nearly $200. But when you think about the investment, like you said, that you've made in dance, especially for those dancers who are pursuing it at a pre-professional or professional level, like you've spent years of your life on it. You and or your parents have spent lots of money on it, on not just the classes, but on, like you said, the shoes, leotards, the tights, all of that. And unfortunately, you know, even at big schools, they don't always have the time or capacity or resources to make sure that each individual dancer, I mean, I don't really think there's any schools that are able to make sure that each individual dancer is getting what she needs mentally and emotionally, and from the standpoint of how they're taking care of themselves. Because let's face it, dance schools and big companies and things like that, like they are trying to cover a lot in training you to be a great dancer, you know, so they've kind of got their work cut out for them in the studio. So to expect that they're going to always be able to provide enough in terms of those self-improvement and mental growth and emotional health resources is kind of expecting a lot. So I do think it's worth it to look outside of it and know that maybe it is something that you should consider making that additional investment in. And I mean, you know, I've had adult dancers go through this program as well. And it's a similar thing where, like, if they're dancing 5 days a week and they want to feel better about how they are in class and, you know, how they're improving and things like that, it can make a big positive difference. Yes. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, Jessica? Well, I was just going to say, it's just as important, like, you know, you talk about the training and that's all they can focus on. Your mindset and your everything is just as important as your training, because what are you going to do with your training if you're not in a good place, you know, mentally and physically? So
no, definitely. It's easy to overlook it, like, for the same reason, you know, for the same reason that schools can't always handle taking care of that for people. It's like, as a dancer, you're already so obsessed with perfecting your technique and getting better at the variation and, you know, auditions and all of that. So taking this time and investing this money can make a big difference in how you approach those things. And mental strength, like, that's what is needed to have longevity in dance and, like, a long and healthy career. So thanks so much, Jessica, for joining me today and for sharing with the Whole Dancer audience. There are a couple of people on. If anyone has any questions, you can comment now or comment later. Jessica is a part of this group, so if she sees any comments later, she can respond to them then if you have questions for her. Thank you so much.
Yes, that was fun.
Good. Have a great rest of your day, and I will be in touch with everyone shortly. Bye.
Bye.